Blasé.
Passé.
Okay.
Cliche.
Obvious.
Tedious. Frivolous.
What a wuss.
The second self-published book by Onion Man is called Stones to Abigail. But this one is also $9.99 and available on Amazon Prime. Remember, if you're running out of kindling for your fireplace, you can stock up and get these on 2-day shipping. Description. I want to be direct. My name is Greg. I go by Onision online. This book is made up of events that occurred in my own life mixed with fiction from the made-up life of James, who he has changed his name to James. Like, if that's not a sign that Onion Man is super delusional, I don't know what is. But anyway, James is essentially a better version of myself. His home, his school, and his life all resemble my own at his age. The people James analyzes and is surrounded by are not unlike those I've known as well. I've experienced much of the loss James has, however, his happier moments are more often than not also mine. More often than not also his. I want to share my story without it being purely non-fiction. I simply felt this approach would make a far better book. At points, I cried while writing this. At others, I laughed. Stones to Abigail is not just a book I wrote. It's a piece of who I am. It's like he's trying to draw off his own life and write these books. It's like, you're not David Sedaris, Greg. Like, you suck. And you're not funny. But anyway, 880, and there is very much some controversy that goes on with these reviews because he encouraged his YouTube subscribers and his fans online to go on and leave false reviews. He told them they could make up whatever they wanted to leave as the review for the book to mess up the rating system, which is so fucked up, Greg. And like any legitimate or novelist or writer, like, you are like making a joke of something that they actually are good at and do, and so like kind of fuck him for that. Alright, so it has 880 reviews. It has a 3.5 out of 5-star rating, which we know is not right. This person gives it 5 stars. I love when Obi-Wan Kenobi slayed Onision. Had that really happened, it might have been a better piece of literature. I don't even want to call it a piece of literature. It's not. It's like a crappy-ass self-published book. 32 out of 0 Pepes. I really like the part where Onision transitions from Jurassic Park to Jurassic World. The vivid detail of the raptors tore apart the visitors at the park made me cringe and shudder. Never in my life have I read a book so realistic while discussing topics that are completely unrealistic. I believe Greg will thrive if he continues his sci-fi books and continues to come up with the same outlandish ideas as he did in this book. Like, obviously, that is not what the book is about. I think that he should be kicked off Amazon for encouraging this, really. Like, I think it's fun when people leave entertaining and funny, like, reviews of products, but only if they're legitimate. He lists Lainey because Kai was Lanybot at the time as the editor on this book, and let's just say that if you're going to self-publish a book, you better put the money and the effort into hiring a real editor and proofreader and copywriter, because so many of these reviews talk about all of the spelling errors and mistakes, and even his defenders like make apologies in some of these reviews for him. I can see the grammatical errors. I can see like run-on sentences and syntax errors. But spelling errors, there is no excuse for that, Onion Man. Like, for the past 15 years, just about any device you touch has spell check like loaded on it automatically. Autocorrect and spell check. You should not have any spelling errors whatsoever. That's just lazy and ridiculous. Okay, here's like, for example, I don't care if people say you have bad grammar skills. This is a 5-star review, okay? Literally, if I could give you 1,000,000,000 stars, I would. I don't care if people say you have bad grammar skills. Does it really matter about the grammar? No, it matters about what's inside of the author's heart. This was the best love story ever written. I heart you, Onision. Tim Buck says that he's direct messaged this girl because she's obviously a teenager, or he's had Kai do it. This is one of his apologizers and sympathizers and defenders that gave it 5 stars. It says, get over it. Get over the writing. He said he sent the wrong file to the publisher. This book is amazing. You're gonna write a novel and then not ensure that you send the final draft to the publisher, especially if you're self-publishing this book. That's a lie. Like, he lied. You know he didn't send the wrong file to the publisher. It was just that shitty of a job done editing this book. Like, and then this person believes it because they're children. They believe whatever he says. The good reviews, I'll read a couple of negative ones too. 5 stars. This girl, it's got her holding the book and she's wearing her Onision t-shirt. And I'm not making fun of her because she's just a child. But like, this is how brainwashed she's got these kids. Okay. The best book ever in my eyes. First of all, how'd you get the book in your eyes? Did you get it in both of your eyes? Was it like the whole book in your eyes? What's the worst book you've ever had in your eyes? I'm curious. I don't understand. Anyway, she says, I recommend this book to anyone who wants romance, suspense, and drama. I am an Onision fan, so naturally it was enjoyable because he wrote it. There are some typos again, even his fans. There are some typos, but what book doesn't have typos? What book doesn't have typos? A book that is written professionally and published by a professional publishing company. That is the type of book that doesn't have typos. Like, go grab a copy of Harry Potter and show me some typos. Go grab a copy of The Lord of the Rings and show me some typos. Go grab a Berenstein Bears book and show me some typos. You can't. You can't. This is a 1-star review by Ella. No relation. 1 star. Literally so terrible, it's funny. Another 1 star, unrealistic mess. 1 star, idle prattle of a self-absorbed mind. Not even worth a 1-star rating. This is 2 stars. It says, sounds like it was written by an angsty 14-year-old. These are pretty harsh. Oh, I love this one. Okay. It's like Catcher in the Rye, but the author thinks Holden was right all along. I literally get so angry when people read Catcher in the Rye like once and all of a sudden like they're a scholar. It's like reading Salinger one time an intellectual does not you make. Channeling Yoda there, I guess. But like, yeah, just because you read Catcher in the Rye does not mean you are like a literature major. It does not make you like an intellectual. And I don't know why people get that Catcher in the Rye chip on their shoulder, but you know that what I'm talking about. This one says Stones to Abbey Fail. Oh, I love this one. Okay. It's like Catcher in the Rye, but the author thinks Holden was right all along. I literally get so angry when people read Catcher in the Rye like once and all of a sudden like they're a scholar. It's like reading Salinger one time an intellectual does not you make. Channeling Yoda there, I guess. But like, yeah, just because you read Catcher in the Rye does not mean you are like a literature major. It does not make you like an intellectual. And I don't know why people get that catcher in the rye chip on their shoulder, but you know that what I'm talking about. Before I get into reading the reviews on Onision's third book, I want to say that one of the things I've been thinking about as far as like Onision and everything that's going on with him lately, and this is serious, man, I'm gonna need like a shot after this video is done. But because Greg is such a delusional person, and because he has such a like grandiose vision of himself and who he is, I fear that if he feels like he is getting backed into a corner with all of these allegations by Chris Hansen, and that if charges are ultimately brought, he's charged with them, I worry that rather than admit that he was wrong, his ego will lead him to doing something tragic. It would not surprise me if Onision tries to, like, go down as a martyr. And I say that in quotation marks because that is not what he would be doing. But he is so, like, self-delusional just about who he is. And like I said, he thinks he's this, like, hero of, like, the counterculture. And he's not. And he knows what he's done is wrong, but because he genuinely believes he is so much smarter and better than everyone else, that if he feels like he's not going to be able to, like, banter his way out of this, he'll end up doing something kind of tragic. Like, on one hand, I think that Onision is a huge pansy, but on the other hand, I think that his, like, self-delusion is so vast that he would do something like that, thinking that he would be, like, this, tragic hero or, like, some kind of legend. And it's like, Greg, we'll remember, like, all the shitty things that you did and your victims and how they stood up to you, but once you're behind bars, you're forgotten, bud. Nobody cares about you, and nobody's going to then either. But that is just my opinion, and I really hope he doesn't do something stupid like that, but it's something that has legitimately crossed my mind, and I think it's terrifying. Okay, enough of the heavy. I'm gonna read some of the funny reviews of his third book. So, alright, Onision's third book is called Reaper's Creek. What, Greg? Dawson wouldn't share his creek with you, so you got... If Reaper is your way of trying to foreshadow death in this book, it's the most obvious thing I've ever seen. But anyway, alright. There's a picture of a boy on the front of it, and I have no doubt that that is Little Onion Man. Alright, this one is available on Prime as well, but instead of being $9.99 like the previous two, this one is $11.99. Must be supply and demand. They must be running low, so they had to jack the price up on the last few that they had. The description of this one: a young boy named Daniel, which is one of Greg's names, encounters creatures from another world. They take him night after night into the black void of their reality till he begins asking questions. Alright, first of all, if some creature was coming to take me night after night, I think I would be asking questions immediately, right? Like, can I speak to your supervisor? Do I need my passport to go to these places? Like, what are they serving while we're there? Do I need to bring a bag? Am I going to have to check a bag? Anyway. Why was he chosen? What do they want from him? Does he have to be the victim? Greg loves playing the victim card, we know this. Daniel decides to fight, and as he wages war on all those who try to harm him, he finds his own adventure. Love, loss, and chaos. This is the life of Daniel. Okay. And I hadn't mentioned this before, but in all three of these product descriptions, written by Onion Man himself, there are blaring typos. This one has only 33 reviews. I guess he didn't do any type of like, get your little YouTube gang to go leave fake reviews on this one, did you, Greg? 1.2 stars out of 5. Like, damn. When do you think 2.4 is bad? Alright. First review is 1 star, dreadful. Reaper's Creek is an abomination in the form of pages bound together. This plot is an incoherent word salad that reads as though it was written up by a preschool child with poor imagination. Storylines are constantly set up and then promptly abandoned for boring scenarios at home and school. The character... My phone's dinging, sorry. The character relations are poorly built up and then tossed for no reason. A dead body is found in the creek at one point, and Onision talks about it for maybe 2 paragraphs, and we never hear about it again. Like he's trying to make this book like Stand By Me. Oh, you are no Stephen King, my friend. Alright. Or if it was, it was lost in the unnecessarily rambling and I missed it. The characters were poorly written and unrealistic with flat, robotic dialogue. This person who wrote this review, you should write a book. Haley, if you see this, write a book. I'll read it and I'll review it on my channel. Because obviously you're a much better writer than Onion Man. It goes on more, but this one is huge, and I want to read this one because it speaks to the very issue at hand going on with Onision and Kai right now. Child SX exclamation point question mark. This book must be pulled from Amazon now. That is the title of this review. My niece asked if I could buy her this book. When I discovered the author, a known sexual predator and ephebiophile. What? I don't know what a ephebiophile is. Let me look that up really quickly. It's never too late to learn something new. I learn new things every day. An adult who is sexually attracted to adolescents. Oh my god. Well, now we know what that means, though. So, I mean, that's not untrue of Onion Man. Okay, where did I leave off? Wrote this main character as an 11-year-old self-insert version of himself. Yet another review in which it is very obvious that the main character is Onion Man. Oh, having a sex with a 16-year-old girl. I nearly lost my head, as you should have, Uncle. I'm so glad you checked this out before you bought this for your niece. Like, seriously, you're a good uncle. You're a good dude. It appears that other books written by Greg Onision also include detailed sex scenes between underage teenage children. I spoke with Amazon about this matter, and they told me they would look into it. Since it's still up, I'm taking this to mean that Amazon is endorsing trash. Don't give this creep your money. Preach, 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 brother. Don't give this creep your money. And all of those who are on the end screen of his current videos that says OnisionFans.com and all those names are coming up on there. Why are you still a fan? Like, if you are still a fan of Onision, leave me a message. Like, find me on my Instagram and DM me and let me know. Like, I am genuinely curious of why you are still an Onision fan. After everything that is basically proven, like, these are not just allegations. Like, there are receipts. There are receipts. But anyway, next one, Miss the Murder. She sounds scary. Says, that being said, Onision is a very public YouTuber whose popularity runs the gamut from negative to positive, mostly negative. That being said, my purpose of reading this book was simply to see what kind of energy and imagination this kid has. The answer is none. None that can be understood anyway. There are many errors in spelling, punctuation, and sentence structure. It takes away from the reader's attention to the story. and he insists it's partly autobiographical. Yikes. Again, there is no excuse for having spelling errors, but Onision probably knows better than the autocorrect and the spell check on how to spell a word, so when it came up to correct it, he probably was like, no, that's not how you spell it. I know better than this computer program. Alright, one star. Greg does it again, making another dumpster fire of a book. It's not any better than his previous two edgy 14-year-old self-insert fanfic. Felt like it was having a stroke through over half of it. I'm about to have a rage stroke right now, really, guys. Like, this is just making me mad, and I didn't even waste my money on it. Onion, you need to reimburse these people. Julie Brown says, laughable. Don't waste money on this book. Sloppy writing. Sloppy writing. Stop sloppy writing. Okay. It's a really bad book. How about no, Scott? Pure blatant drivel. Alright. Sexual content involving a minor. I purchased this book entirely on impulse, as I often do to see if I can find hidden gems hanging around. What I got was a badly written piece of garbage, but that's not the worst of it. This book contains an actual sex scene involving the protagonist. Not unheard of, sure, but the protagonist in this book is an 11-year-old boy. I was so disgusted and utterly appalled, I refused to finish the rest of the book, and I'm going to promptly throw it in the garbage where it belongs. The book has no warning regarding sexual content, particularly when sexual content involves a minor sleeping with someone 4 years their senior. Absolutely disgusting. That is literally a child. Preach, sister. Like, okay, we all know that there is a huge maturity difference between an 11-year-old and a 16-year-old, and even a 16-year-old and like a 20-year-old. Like, he's just such a freaking creep. Like, it's really easy to laugh at these, but the underlying, like, material is disturbing. It really is. I'm gonna read, like, the one good review it has. This book has, like, mostly 1-star reviews, no 2, 3, or 4-star reviews, and, like, 1 5-star review. Which you know is either Onion himself or one of his minions. Amazon name is Onion Subscriber 2010. And that probably means this person was born in 2010. I mean, maybe not, but that'd make them 9 years old when they wrote this. Anyway, nice. Not everyone can say they keep a life journal or actual book about themselves. They just want to say thanks for helping me get through the drama in high school. I guess they're not 9. I avoided bad relationships and watched your videos over hanging out with my high school crush. She wanted me to change my personality in order to be accepted by her social circle. I'm now in college pursuing an engineering degree. Happy to see you still going. I don't have the time to get all hostile with you. Never ask why and don't care. You're an awesome guy. Money, I'll put $1 on it that Onion wrote this himself. Nobody that is intelligent enough to go to college and pursue an engineering degree is someone that would be fooled by Onion's drivel, especially into their college age years. Like I said, we could all be susceptible to his BS as preteens and teenagers. I said in my first Onion video, it's likely that a 13-year-old Asherella might have fallen for some of his BS. But, like, Greg, you're in your 30s. Like, this is sad and tragic. And, like, stop trying to rewrite. Stop trying to relive your teenage years and, like, live vicariously in this scenario that you are trying to write as you go. You are a grown man with a husband and children. And y'all are going to jail. Like, I worry about the children. I hope that there's a good family member that's a good person that's going to be willing to take care of them while y'all are reaping the consequences of what you sow. Anyway, that's all for today's video. You guys have any thoughts on Onion Man? Have you read any of these books? If so, let me know down in the comments. Which of these reviews did you think was the funniest? Which one did you think that was the most telling? I thought that they were all kind of compelling. The funny, the serious, and everything in between. But like I said, that is it for today's episode of Original Asherella. Just remember, every time you hit the subscribe button, and a YouTuber named Original Asherella has improved self-esteem. For little additional effort, you can hit the notification button, and she will have a really great improvement in her self-worth. I'm just kidding, but subscribe, leave a like, leave a dislike, follow my socials. Let's talk about this down there. Let's have a conversation about Onion and what's going on with him. Let me know what you think down below. Always tap in. Do not tap into these Onision books. Never tap out unless you find yourself accidentally on one of these Onision books. Tap out immediately and keep on slaying like a Saiyan.